JB here. JB here. Hope everyone's doing outstanding. January 16th, 9/17. I'm trying to share my screen. I think I have it here. So, talk really quick about the market. Some names I'm looking at go from there. SP futures slightly in the green here, up about a little over 10% on the heels of yesterday's rally, which recouped some of the sell-off we had on Wednesday. S&P is still on pace for a quarter percent drop for the week. So we'll see. It's actually green last week, red the week before, green the week before that. So we've been alternating a little bit between green and red. So nothing crazy. I mean, Wednesday could have made the case that would have been the start of some larger pull, but that didn't come to fruition, at least not yet. And what was the catalyst yesterday? So you had bank earnings, Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, kind of, and BlackRock, alleviating some of the concerns from J.P. Morgan and Bank of America early in the week. Also TSM, right? Monster report. Just, it's another one. So it seems like every quarter it's these behemoths just continue to have monster guidance, beats, raises, things of that nature. And now it's okay. Where do we go here into next week? So we have the holidays. Don't forget, Monday markets are closed. Today's probably going to be more consolidation chops. So it's 693 to 686 on the SPY. Again, I wasn't patting myself on the back, but the first time I've added an annotation on the chart in a couple months, and we came right down to it. So that'll be a spot. I call it the line in the sand. If we get some bigger, some selling, and then maybe next week, and then things start to roll, that'd be a spot where I'd be getting some put hedges and then more aggressive on the way down. Do I think we get there? Probably not the high probability that we break through, but you got to be open to all scenarios because you just never know. All right, so that's overall. People trying to find a canary in the coal mine, right? The catalyst that's supposed to pull the markets. I mean, this week it was geopolitical tensions. Who thought another attack on Iran was on the table? We have that. Now it's like maybe it's some kind of supply issue, right? And the thing I think that might rattle markets a little bit is if China and Taiwan, if that starts to escalate, Taiwan Semiconductor. I mean, just things that that might be something that we wake up on one Monday. And it's funny, the irony is that every time there's some kind of event that's happened, who remembers, the revolt in Russia where you had that chief marching up to marching up to Moscow? That happened over a weekend, right? Every event, typically geopolitical ones, happen over a weekend, and it's like markets aren't open. Venezuela, Saturday morning, waking up to that news. Anyway, so we'll see where things go here. I remain cautiously optimistic. I mean, you look at all the data, everything that's coming out, the GDP, the inflation. And then, now we're getting to earnings season. So we'll see if this is one of those, another monster quarter. All right, that's overall markets. Now, individual names. Oh, and also, I talked about this, the amount of stocks trading over their 50-day moving average at highs not seen since July. So that just, to me, moving averages are important. That's the market, the momentum, the breadth, right? So the path of least resistance typically is the way the markets are going. It's like a snowball rolling downhill. It takes a while for it to slow down a little bit. All right. Overall markets, quick on individual names. I know I have Terra up here, NKLR. Looks like that was ready to squeeze yesterday. Fine. I mean, the stock was $5 at the start of the week, all the way up to 7.35 into the afternoon. Frustrating because the calls I'm in, the premiums didn't go up much. I mean, my February strikes are up 50%. If it holds gains here today, you got to think it's going to continue into next week. You have the POTUS or the administration going to come out with some announcement in regards to energy. That's a big talking point now. People are getting their electric bills, and they always go up. But now you have this catalyst where people are going to start, I would say, blaming, but these energy prices are going to go up. And when you're on a system that a lot of that new power is coming from a place that wasn't before, a warehouse or data center, it's going to happen. So how do they fight? What's the plan? You have to think that benefits any publicly traded company in the energy space. So we'll see what happens today. All right, so that's NKLR. SSYS, I mean, crazy. Who in their right mind's buying calls yesterday? So I got those February 1250s last Thursday. The stock was like 1040. Call me crazy, right? Because I was saying this yesterday. When I look at a stock, I look at everybody must have their different vision, right? When I look at a stock, I see SSYS, I think it's a $25 stock. So I trade the options based on that premise or that. All right. Sorry. So anyway, take a look at a stock like SSYS. It's 1040 last Thursday. I get those 1250s. And then yesterday morning it starts to creep up and it's 1080. I'm looking at the call volume. It looks like some action. I get those March 1250s and the boom, 130. Someone posted, I guess they're popular FinTwit or they're on Reddit or one of those platforms. They wrote out with a bullish thesis on SSYS, and pretty much in a nutshell, it's that robotics there's going to be some kind of bottleneck, and SSYS is going to be one of the manufacturer of one of the components of robots. So I don't know if that's the case. Here's the story with SSYS: flat growth, $250 million in cash, $900 million market cap. So it's kind of like a de-risk story that if there's any kind of growth, it's going to go bonkers. I think it heads, I think it heads north of 25. So call me crazy. I think it's undervalued to begin with. So anyway, needless to say, it ran up into the 1160 range, whatever. I locked some of the calls in for 100%, then 150. I went and got those March. I went at the end of the day, as I start thinking about things, I'm like, this is going to head substantially higher. So to me, it's like, if that's the case, these inexpensive far out of money strikes are going to get a heck of a lot more expensive. So I want to be in it before it runs. So I went and got those March 1750s. And what I'll do today is I'll try and harvest some more positions. We'll see what those 1750s open at. But you start looking at the longer chart here, and 1250 was the highs back in October when I had strikes. And I mean, it's blue skies. And take a look in 2023, it was a $22 stock. It's had a backdrop of buyout rumors, NNDM, and all this other stuff in the 20s. So easy story for me to make the case that trades substantially higher. Happy to see some other folks on board. I have to think, you see sectors run up in tandem, the energy sector. Now it's like the robotics theme. It's one reason I love Serve Robotics. So you have the backdrop of the robotics being a hot sector, and you have a company that it's like there's no priced in growth on SSYS in regards to the robotics side of business, my opinion. So when you take a look at a name that if it starts to grow 20, 30%, it's going to be, you start doing the multiples. So, all right, rants for other days. That's that. Roblox ended those strikes in the afternoon. Unlike Tuesday, instead of not locking some in to cover some of the cost, I did that yesterday. Sure enough, gets up to 88 and change, goes all the way back down and closes 84.65. Still like this one for a move over its 50 to 90.32. Probably gonna have to wait till next week, but really like Roblox here. Cool, what a monster. I didn't want to be a spot with 1 day left to expiration. They pull the carpet, some downgrade. Of course, you're playing with the time element too. So locked the last of those 270s in for 600%. I'll continue to look for opportunities to trade that one. The thing is, the risk reward is a little different. When I'm buying a contract, a $300 call at 250, it goes up to 280. Maybe those are 450 or $5. So the risk reward in regards to percent gain. So for me, I'd rather maybe I'll get the 310s. But the other side is that it's going to have a red day at some point. I mean, stock's up, 9 of the past 10 sessions. It's had one red day in 2026. So I'll continue to look for opportunities to trade that one for upside. Got those lottos on Arista Network. Arista and Cisco of names that kind of got a little rough over the last month or two. You would think with this whole data center build out, especially with Arista Networks, would be front and center. And supposedly, I guess Meta is not going to be one of their customers. For some reason, sold off in November. But maybe it's the start of a bounce here. It was over its 50-day moving average, 129.64. I think it continues to head higher. So don't be surprised if I add some strikes into next week on Arista. Same with RH, right? I mean, I keep talking about RH heading to 250 regardless of this outcome on the tariffs from a ruling from the Supreme Court. Take a look. Wayfair was rallying up 119 yesterday. I'm like, why is RH isn't rallying in tandem? Some of the premise behind adding some more lottos, but I'll continue to look for opportunities on RH. Reddit, I don't know what the news was out this morning. Yesterday, I don't know if there was a Wells Fargo, and someone else came out with a analyst op-in, but disappointing. Gives back over 1.5 weeks of gains on no catalyst that I could see. There was an analyst I think had a neutral rating, just raised their price target or something. Anyway, you know me, and I still have strikes into next week. Thankfully, I locked some of those in to cover some of the costs. I'll just continue to hold those into next week and then play it from there. And then today might be a day for some lotto. So don't be surprised. I mean, I keep looking at Oracle, and you've seen some of these other names. I mean, Lam Research, ASML going bonkers yesterday. Thankfully, I didn't get puts on the pull on Wednesday. But on the flip side, some of these names might be some nice lottos. BlackRock look interesting. I was almost looking to get to 1200s yesterday. Thankfully, I didn't grab those, but that could be a nice lotto. And that's it, folks. So have a great day. I'll be back on audio later. Rock and roll.